Welcome back to the Great War, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4 with the Great War mod, as alluded to with my welcoming intro. Okay, we're going to continue this here. We are cleaning up Africa. Turks are helping us. We're helping the Turks. We've got Togoland and a bit more back there. Austria, France is called it. Oh, okay, mobile ambulances. Empire is our enemy. Okay, well, we gave up basically any occupational forces in the Far East. So, yeah, go at it, guys. We may come and see you in a while, but not much we can do about that now. And no, we don't want any Soviet volunteers. Oh yes, and we just got ambulances. We are in 1915 November. It's getting close to 16, but we could do radio signal companies. Getting close to doing armored cars. We are what we need to development. Okay, so we got we are, aren't we? Yes, we're doing the prototype, so we can do that. Improve submarine compartments. Use track. Those are nice too. Let's do that. Oh yes, we've got another group of 10 Zeppelins here. Let's come out over here and strategic bombing. And they're trying our small house. Okay. Should the 1916 Olympics be cancelled? Pierre de Coubertin expressed his feelings concerning the 1960 Berlin Games in a letter to the Associated Press, echoing the sentiments that many of the 1916 Olympic Games may be an impractical, impossible event, although many U.S. cities have offered to host the Games. Instead, the International Olympic Committee must abide by its own rules and keep the site of Berlin. Perhaps there will be simply no games this year. How interesting. Now, I don't know if many of you know, the Olympic Games that were held in Greece way back when were military games. As you can sort of see, they throw a spear, sort of called javelin. They throw a weight, a shot put, a rock or a discus. They wrestle, and wrestling was more like boxing with wrestling added to it. Way back then, it was fighting. Many people died fighting fighting each other. It was a bloody thing. It wasn't quite the gladiatorial games of the Romans, in which they were out there with swords and the opposition, one guy or the other is gonna. Well, they didn't always die or quite often they didn't die in the gladiatorial games because they were very valuable gladiators. But it wasn't the idea of fighting to the death. It was fighting to a victory or loss. But it very well could include, smashing your fist into the other person's head as hard as you can a few times to attempt to win it, and that they may be killed in it. And I remember reading something way back when men would sort of make sure their nails were sort of hardened and sharp to use them to, grapple in and cut into the, flesh of the other person, so that they were unarmed combats, but they could result in death. Nothing like the funerary. The gladiatorial game started out as funerary exhibitions or games or whatever. Not really games, but competitions at notable people's death. Sort of a religious rite. But that and the like, I don't know, 100-yard dash or something originally was often, or originally I don't know, but in the early games, they were done in armor with weapon, to show how militarily you could dash from one place to another in in armor. So it was very much of a military games. Um, so those that don't know the history, and yes, they're not in the modern sense meant to be a how do I put this? Oh, how tough our soldiers are. We're going to beat your soldiers in the next war. They're meant to sort of promote friendly competition between nations, absolutely. But they do have a truly military background, so they still have some shooting, archery, as well as some rifle. Normally, it's in the winter games. I think it was. I don't know if he medaled or not. Patton was in the pistol competition in one of the military games, the Olympics. So he was that good of a pistol shot. But yeah, so I doubt it will happen. So, okay, we are here with these guys. Got the cavalry to come down more rapidly, gobble up. Portuguese territory. Down this way. You guys keep going that way. One division to fight if needed. Could be some Portuguese out down there. Alright, war. Take out Angola. Oh, good, they're growing the German Empire for us. Yes, United Baltic Duchy. These guys come to the far side of the river there. Should have stayed out of the war, Portugal, and resources. This one. Oil we got. Well, not a lot of rubber. But we now have, and I will be wanting to build more oil using things. But what I want to start also is siege artillery. That's sort of some of these things I'm waiting for to try an offensive here, but AI, what the hell is going on? Do I not take advantage of the AI doing its thing? Of, oh yeah, we're going to send troops to somewhere else because hey, well, we'll send other troops back there at some point, but or is this a trap to lure me into attacking, and then you're gonna spring it on us? And this is gonna be a shorter series than I thought. I thought we were gonna be much longer. before they had multiple divisions here, and there they are. Okay. Yes, feed them in, feed them in. Into the breach. You guys kind of lame. Technical two provinces. And okay, Zeppelin campaign. Focus complete. Okay. It's highly unlikely the German troops will be able to breach the British mainland in the current situation. However, our Zeppelin bombers balloons will be able to strike at the heart of British industry from afar. Okay. Although they may send their pathetic little fighter planes to try and strike them down, it is unlikely they will be able to come across the altitude. We will show John Bull our might. Okay. Now, I think we'll do. This will get us research bonuses. Okay, don't pull up. Ooh. These guys should all be moved to here. Here. Some should be in Africa. You should be down there. And who are we going to do as theater commander? Okay, walk. And be the theater commander there. Back to there, but there's critical fronting right now. Bulgaria, yeah, okay. Don't want to forget about down here. Okay, let's send you over here. We'll put you on trains. It'll get you there very fast. You guys, you go towards Libreville. You come this way. No, I hit the wrong key again. No. Oh, just a super big province. Okay. Couldn't see that all that clearly. Who supports that attack? you come this way, you come down this way. Heavy artillery at this point, I don't know. Thought we did if we were going to get through the front lines, but in there, attempt to break out. Here, okay, and let's move you guys in here. Just to sort of hold the rear in case we're attacking bolters. Holding down the button. I'll keep here in it. There. Then on to Luanda. Okay. Where they came from. Yes, that's good. Already here taking Akara and the coastline here. There you go. Decent controlling the speed. You can. There we go. Get them up and facilitate their movement. Even more stuff. Okay. Well, we need more field guns support equipment. So and we can also build more industry. More ICs. Okay. We'll let or increase a bit more. Or at least look like we're gonna win this thing now. But absolutely sure. You guys, you come over here just in case South Africa decides to get into this. Now, well, we should probably wait a day and start heavy industry. There we go. Now, improve our industrial output. And we also have better fighters available. Now, there we go, sort of a super version of the fighter. And we're going to go from a scout to a Falker, or no, to a DR1A. So that should really help our fighters be better at combat. What obviously what happened was France went, oh shit, we're losing our African empire, so let's send troops down there. Sure, fine, good. I'm all for that. But you should have made sure you maintain the German border first. There we go. Are there any oil resources down here at all? No, it doesn't look like it. There are, of course, but they just probably didn't know about it then. That's fine. Oh good, we're down here. And kill those plans entirely. Oh, we're battling up here, okay. Against the destroyer. Be careful, Italy. If you go to war with us, you may lose your empire. I was thinking some of our transport. Bummer. Invading somewhere, is that what that sounds supposed to mean? Okay, well, we've taken that, so one division gets to march around, maybe I should say. Yeah, come down here and then back Europe. There. Here, what we will do is plan from here to here, another invasion. Let's do look at our government. I did want a little bit of a army experience gain. I got more army experience. I know what to do with. You know, which I like naval bombers. Ludendorff fighting Patan. How appropriate. Well, at least we hold the port if we can. Okay, these guys, let's put them here. Let's give them to. Yeah, I think Come down here. We can produce more. Factories. And more military production. And it's the same old thing. Field guns and support equipment. I know I'm producing older ones. I just want to produce as many as I can, as much as I can, as fast as I can. What I actually do want is to have enough excess to add there. And if I were to add a new support unit from the hospital, it would require a bunch more support equipment, which I don't have. Motorization, so I just don't really have a use for all of this. Alright, but we can go through the generals again. Any of these guys. Infantry expert or ambusher. We're going on the offensive, so. More. He. No. Okay. I'm gonna wait till our reinforcements show up in the field here. And I get to hold out there. That'd take forever across Africa. Watched a documentary some time ago on YouTube, I think it was, about Lake Tanganyika, which is here. The Germans were doing fairly well here under Warbeck here, and they had some ships, well, boats on there. So the British got some other sort of small, like motor torpedo boats, but without torpedoes, I don't think, there. And they, up here in London, you know, and literally in the Thames River estuary, loaded them on board ships, took the ships all the way down to South Africa, and I don't know, Natal or Cape Town or somewhere. Got them here, got them on trains, got the trains up to somewhere in here, I think it was. And then, and they also had sent down some steam tractors that were big, and they put the boats on these steam tractors, and they hauled these things through the jungle, across the plains that were almost parched desert-like in parts. And it took them months, like almost a year or something, to get all the way to here, but it was this last bit that was, and everybody thought, near impossible. The enemy did particularly. And even though they sort of got some warnings, I think, of the things moving. And it was like trying to find water, because they were steam tractors. Trying to find water for them and whatnot to keep them moving. Eventually they did get here, and they sunk and dealt with the captured one, and then used it, the German ships on Tanganyika. So really impossibly long distances, really impossibly hard to move without railroads. Again, railroads are needed for this game, and some blocks and other things. So some of these zippier movements I'm able to do would be just fine if you had the railroad. You know, the railroad that came up through here to Khartoum. Sure, yeah, zipping along. Getting across this, hell no. Not in any sort of strategic movement sense. Hell no. Why railroads are needed for this. Patriotic fervor, okay, good. Massive effort. No, not so much. That was to help research some doctrines. Let's do effort. Yeah, let's do this. Come on, guys, beat them. I don't think just moving in massive numbers would help much. Okay, here they are. Don't know. Guys are fighting. Continuous tracks. Good. Well, let's come over here, because if you've watched, I'm a suspicious gain or production path. Let's do that. This is mostly just dying for diversionary attacks. Keep them from getting more troops into here. This I'm not sure. They really reinforce this, they may be able to hold. Okay, good, we're here. Two divisions attack are good. One division empty. Reinforce. Yes, I'm finding myself in that World War I situation where just waiting for the breakout, and then the cavalry will be able to rush across the field and go everywhere. That's exactly what I'm hoping for, though I actually think, maybe deluding myself, I'll be able to achieve it. That looks like they're about ready to collapse. But on that note of waiting for it another time, we're going to be back another time with more episodes. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Love to see you around more often. And please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.